Basically, I hate it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey, and I like to read a little bit. Just a little bit. We are officially, when this will be posted, done with 2024. It will be 2025. So I wanted to hop on the end of the year book tag train. I saw a couple of other book besties do this and I wanted to yap. So here we are. So there's gonna be a lot of questions in this tag and we are going to answer every single one of them. Let's just hop right into it. I don't know what was that? First question is, what was your most disappointing book of the year? Now this one I had very, very high hopes for because I loved the first book in the series. It is Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. I loved Say You Swear. Say You Swear was so good. It was so angsty. It pulled at my heartstrings. It made me tear up. I did not expect it from that book. And then Promise Me Not came out. And I was very excited, but it disappointed. I did not like this book at all. I think I rated this book 1 star or 2 stars, and maybe it was 2 stars. The FMC just got on my last nerve in this book, okay? She was so annoying. I felt like her struggle that she had, she made it way harder than it had to be, okay? She was just not letting anything good into her life, and it was very, very frustrating to watch. Or read, not watch. So we are reading here. Also, the pet name, Pretty Little, was just disgusting. I don't know why, but it was so icky. It was so icky. Didn't like the pet name at all. Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy was my most disappointing read of the year, and that's really sad. I was very sad about that. Okay, what was an underdog book? Now, I did pull out all the books that are gonna be on this list, so I may be rooting around in here, but an underdog book for me was The Cruel Dark by B. Northwick. This was a 5-star read. Do you see how small this book is? How many pages is this book? Hold on. It's like 240 something, 230 something pages. That is crazy for this to be a 5-star read. I picked this up because I really don't even know why. I was looking for gothic romance, and this is the one that caught my eye, or one of the many that caught my eye, and it was so good. So this is like historical romance, and the FMC ends up taking a job to help a professor at his mansion. There's a whole staff that works there, so it's not like she's just going to live with him to help him. No, she's going to help him organize all of his work and stuff. But when she gets there, she realizes that things are not what they seem, and she's starting to see ghosts, and a whole bunch of stuff starts happening. This was like romance, thriller, all of the vibes, okay? The vibes were vibing in this one. And I was so shocked. I devoured this. You could read this in one setting. Okay, so if you're wanting a gothic romance book and you like historical romance too, pick this up because this was so good. The thriller aspect was so good. I did not see the plot twist coming fully. I ate it up. I ate it up like it was the last dish on the table at Thanksgiving dinner. The reason that this is an underdog book for me is because I had never heard of it. I've never heard of this author. I had never heard of this book, none of it. So I feel like it just came up out of nowhere and it was like 5 stars, bitch. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I really, really loved it. The next one is, what was an overhyped book that you read? The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I feel like I've seen everyone raving about this book. And yes, it did just get traditionally published. And yes, it does have pretty sprayed edges with roses and stuff on the hardback edition. But I hated this book. Okay, I did not like this book at all. It had potential. It had potential in like the first half of the book or so. And then about right here, it started losing me. And then right here, it was like this shit came out of left field. I did not know what was going on with the plot. I was so confused. It's like there was no foreshadowing for anything that happened at the end of this book. And I was so annoyed. I was annoyed. The plot line had a lot of potential. So I get why a lot of people like it, but for me, it just kind of fell flat at the end. So yeah, basically, I hate it. A book that surprised you. Now this one is a thriller, and that is why it surprised me because I've never really been a thriller girl. Like I like thriller romance, but just a thriller hasn't ever really been my vibe per se. But Never Lie by Frida McFadden surprised the crap out of me. Okay, I love this book. I ate it up. I read it in one day. One day, I could not put it down. This was my first Frida McFadden read, I believe, and I loved it. I was so confused. The plot twist came out of nowhere. I understand that Frida is like entry level into thriller, and like I said, I'm not really a thriller girly, and I know a lot of people don't like Frida because she is like the mainstream, right? But I adored it. I adored this book, and it awoke a new love for thriller inside of me. Okay, that is why That one surprised me and I loved it. Your favorite book couple or couples of the year. I kept it to one because out of all of the couples that I have read, the book is over here. Hold please. Oh my God, my ankle. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. My ankle just popped in a way that it should not pop. Oh, my shoulder too. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so sorry about that. My favorite book couple of the year is Darian and Loren from the House of Devil series. I am obsessed with them. They are Morticia and Gomez in fantasy book form. Okay, this is urban fantasy romance and it is absolutely phenomenal. Are these books huge? Yes. Are they worth it? Abso-freaking-lutely. The plot twists in these, the love story in these, this love story pulled at my heartstrings so deeply. I don't even know what to say about them because I'm just like in awe. Darien Castle is everything that I wanted him to be and everything that I heard he was. You know, a lot of times an MMC or a book will fall short based off of the hype that other people give it. Not at all. Not at all. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. I am obsessed with these characters. The way that they love each other is so selfless. Now, granted, they do be doing dumb shit like, oh, I can help them by not telling them that I'm going to do this really, really dangerous thing and it's all going to work out. No, it's not. It never does. I don't even care that they do that. I just love them so much. I love them both individually as characters and I love them together as a couple in these books and they're just perfect. Yeah, they're my favorite book couple. I miss them. And I just read about them at the beginning of December. What? Next question is your favorite main characters of the year. It is another couple, technically, but out of all of the characters that I read about, this couple grew the most in the entire series of them. And that is Magnolia and BJ from Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. Well, they're from the entire Magnolia Parks universe, but like in this book specifically, they were my favorites. Okay, honorable mention, he doesn't have a POV in this book. Honorable mention to my #1 book boyfriend of all time, Julian Hates. I love you. I miss you. Magnolia and BJ, they have grown so much in this series. So much. In the beginning, insufferable. And I still loved them. Insufferable. The therapy, the growth, the journey, the love, all of it, perfect. This was the perfect ending to this series. I am obsessed with every single bit of it. Every single bit, okay? My mind cannot be changed, ever. That one's gonna have to go to this. They are my favorite characters of the year. New favorite author that you discovered this year. That is going to be, here you are, Melissa K. Rorick. Here's the thing. Legacy is the series that comes after Lady of Darkness, but you can read this one before Lady of Darkness. I have not read Lady of Darkness. I picked this up not expecting to love it as much as I did, okay? This is God tier. Melissa is a master of her craft, okay? The web that she weaves in these books is actually insane. I am obsessed with all of these characters. Y'all know I love character growth. You are not going to like these main characters at the beginning of the series, okay? You will start to love them more as you understand their traumas and what they've been through and how they ended up the way that they are. But they have grown so much since book 1. Only 3 books are out so far. It's gonna be a 4-book series and book 4 comes out next year. So if you wanna read it now, you should. Okay, join me because I'm obsessed with them, every single one of them. Do with that what you will. I am on the edge of my seat the entire time I'm reading a Melissa Rorick book. I will be reading Lady of Darkness eventually, most likely, maybe. I just don't know when. I don't know when. An author that didn't work out for you this year. That is going to be Miss Megan Quinn. Here's the thing. I read How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It was our book club pick of December. I hated it. I rated it 1 star. Okay, I hated that book. It was cringy and I'm sorry. This man took a candy cane and put it in places that no candy cane should ever go. All I could think about was, oh my God, that is so unsanitary and so sticky. Ugh. Disgusting. This author just didn't work out for me this year, and that's okay. A lot of people love her. A lot of people love her sense of humor. It's just not for me. It was very, very cringy, hallmarky, and not for me. Next is, what is the happiest book that you have read this year? That is going to be The Parent... Why do I always do that when I can't speak? The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This book was marriage of convenience and also kind of fake marriage in a way. So they got married, but they didn't actually like do anything about it. And then all of a sudden she thinks they're divorced. He comes to her door and he's like, hey, you have to go to this private island with me and my family because they're not gonna give me my inheritance. He's rich, by the way. They're not gonna give me my inheritance if I don't prove that I'm married to you. So they go, and what do you think happens? I don't know, read it to find out. But it was so fun. Christina Lauren, their books are just entertaining. And it's not funny in a cringy way, like How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Okay, the saddest book that I've read this year. That's gonna be the Edge of Darkness trilogy by Lee Rivers. These books are the darkest books that I've read since I read The Torment Duet last year. And they hurt me. I was in such a slump after I read these books. Lee Rivers did such a good job pulling so much emotion from me in these books. I love these characters. They went through so much dark stuff. Whenever I tell you that this is dark, I mean it's very dark. So if you're gonna read it, please check your trigger warnings. This is second chance romance, but it is so much more than just a second chance romance. There are so many things that happen that keep them apart that aren't just like silly, goofy reasons. No, they're deep, dark, really serious reasons. And in 2025, Tobias and Arya, Cade, the MMC in this book's parents, their book is coming out and I'm so excited. I know it's probably gonna hurt me even more. I love Tobias. Tobias was like one of my favorite characters in this entire series. I'm very excited. If you want an MMC who is obsessed, pick this up. But like I said, check your trigger warnings. It will make you cry. Warning, will bring tears to your eyeballs. What is the most frustrating book that you have read this year? Where are you? That is gonna have to be Ecstasy by KB Rose. Did I like this book? I don't know. I read it so fast, but these characters are so toxic. They were pissing me off the entire book. Okay, I was so angry with them. They are all horrible people. Horrible people. And I think that's why it was so infuriating, but I ate it up. I was guilty of eating this up. So there is a lot of triggers in this one as well. So please check your trigger warnings. This is toxic, love triangle, but also entertaining. I don't know, I was mad. The best book adaptation of the year that I have read, that is going to be The Idea of You by Robin Lee. I read this because I found out the movie was coming out with Anne Hathaway. The movie was very good. I was mad at the ending though, because they didn't keep it the same as this one. And that, I feel like the ending is why this book hit so hard. Okay, this is age gap romance. He is in a boy band and she is a single mom and older, quite a bit older than him. And it was very good. Now, if we're talking TV show that I did not read the book first, that is going to be Rivals. I am obsessed with that show. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I don't even know how to describe it except for like, there is so much drama. British with an age gap romance line and then a little bit of infidelity and everybody's on a TV show and there's rich and famous people. It's so dramatic. There's so much drama. And the age gap romance storyline is my favorite. I was obsessed with that, I fear. It was so good. And I was eating every single bit up. Yeah, you should watch Rivals. This was so good. Who is the book by? Jilly Cooper. Rivals is by Jilly Cooper. It was written in the 1980s, but I'm telling you, this show is so good. I didn't read it, but you have to watch it. I just want to talk about the show. Enough about TV shows, let's get back to books. Your favorite covers of the year. Y'all already knew these were coming out. Okay, I got the Magnolia Parks special editions and they are stunning. Felt and gorgeous, and the end papers are unique to each book. Emmy Lawless did such a good job designing these. Oh my God. And I love them. And whenever I get to put my floating shelf up here, once my husband builds it, they will be front and center. Okay, all of my special editions are gonna go up on the wall, and these are quite literally the prettiest books I've ever owned, and I am obsessed with them. So these are definitely going up there. A book you haven't stopped thinking about. That is going to be Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. This book took me by complete surprise. I expected just like a run-of-the-mill romantasy book. This was such a good change of pace. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is romantasy, it is fantasy romance, whatever. But the way that this plot twist at the end, I did not see it coming at all. And once I talked to Bestie Emmy about it, she told me that there was in fact foreshadowing, and she showed me exactly where in the library scenes, and I can't believe I missed it. I am obsessed with this. I can't stop thinking about it. This is book 1 in a duology, and I cannot wait for the second book. I don't know when we're getting it, but I can tell you that as soon as we get a pre-order link, I will be chomping at the bit. I will be clicking so fast, okay? I can't stop thinking about the ending of that. Oh my God. Unpopular book that you loved. Now, this isn't necessarily well, I guess it is unpopular. It's not unpopular for a reason. I just don't hear people talking about it. It's the Grip Trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. I loved this trilogy. I love Kennedy Ryan's writing. She is so good at talking about such important topics that need to be talked about in a very, very intelligent and profound and informed way, but also she's so good at having such a good romance storyline involved in it. And the Grip Trilogy was so good. It's just such a good love story. And you should absolutely check it out. A book that you thought you'd love, but did not. This will come as no surprise to anybody. 5 Broken Blades by Mike Horland. This is fantasy, okay? And the premise was really, really, really good. It's about all these thieves that come together for a mission to take down the king, right? And that is what got me sucked into this, that and the gorgeous sprayed edges. But what fell short for me was the fact that all of these thieves are coming together. Yes, 70% of the book is them traveling to get to each other, or they meet one other person, they get with each other, and then they still keep traveling to get to the end. And 70% is when I really got invested. The rest of it, I ended up having to turn on the audio to keep me in it because I was so bored. I was so bored for the first 70% of this book, and I had such high hopes for it, and I was very, very sad. I really hate that, because I really wanted to love it. A book with the most unique concept you've read this year. Now, I don't know if this is going to be unique concept, but different than what I have been reading typically. I read Besties by Courtney L. Wynn. I feel like we've been reading so much about fae and vampires and things like that. This one has ghosts, okay? The MMC is a ghost. He's like half ghost, kind of. You gotta read it to find out. Anyways, but the magic in this one, the royals and the guards and people of importance, they have rings. And inside of the rings, there are spirits. Like you get a spirit that attaches to it and you can use their powers, right? And they can protect you and all of that. But it's also kind of like a post-apocalyptic fantasy. So there is still electricity and rock music and things like that, and like MMA style fighting with like daggers and everything. But it's also, there's kingdoms and queens and it's so unique. I really, really enjoyed this. It was so much fun. The MMC in it is a shadow daddy, and I did love that. That one was unique just because I feel like I've been reading so much about fae and all of those things lately. I felt like that was a good one. A book you read this year that you would reread. I will be rereading this, no question about it. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This was one of my favorite books of the year, okay? And book 2, I believe, comes out in the fall of 2025. So I'm going to have to reread it. But I think I'm gonna do the tandem with the audio this time because the audio wasn't out whenever I physically read this. So I am going to be rereading this before the second book comes out. If you don't know what this is about, what have you been doing? If you love romantasy, then this is going to be for you, I promise. Okay, I don't promise, because what if you hate it? Don't come back and yell at me. There is portal magic, there's a shadow daddy, there's vampires, there's all kinds of creatures. It is so much fun, and the found family in it and the side characters are just as good as the main characters. I love them. Carry On is my baby. I love Kingfisher. I hate his name, but that's okay. Now, Goodreads 2024 reading goal reflection and a reading goal for 2025. My goal in 2024 was 100 books. Fun fact about me, I set my reading goal to 100 every single year because I know I'm at least gonna hit that, and that makes me feel accomplished. As of right now, there are 2 days left when I'm filming this before the end of the year. I have read 134 books this year. I think I'm just gonna keep my reading goal for 2025 the same. It's gonna be 100 because I know I can meet that goal and I don't wanna stress myself out. Book you wish you got to this year. Ooh, that's gonna be Zodiac Academy, the last and final book in that series. I have been putting it off for so long because I'm so scared. I don't want it to end. Okay, I've been reading Zodiac Academy since the release of book 3. I just don't want it to end. There's also so much that I have probably forgotten. So at this point, I'm just gonna have to do a recap, and then I'm gonna have to read it. I'm gonna read it in 2025. Hold me to it. If I don't, you have my permission to yell at me. The last question on this book tag is, what will you prioritize in your 2025 reading year? That is going to be content. My goal for 2025 is to be able to do more of this and chatting with you guys because I love chit-chatting with you guys. I wanna be able to do this full time. So that is my goal, maybe getting to a point to where I can do that. So we are manifesting becoming a full-time content creator in 2025. I have such a good support system, and I really think that I hope that I will be able to get this done so that I can just yap to y'all more, because I feel like I'd be able to give y'all more content if I could do it full time, because I do have a full-time job. And I mean, who would not want to read and talk about books for a living? That is my dream. 6-year-old Bailey, she would be crying. She would be crying that that is even remotely on the radar right now. That is the goal for 2025. 2024 was such a good year, you guys. 2025 is gonna be even better. I hope that all of you had such a fabulous reading year. Did you agree with any of these? Any of these books? Any of them at all? Okay, have you read them? Are you going to read them? Tell me everything. I love to yap about books. That's why we're here. I'm so happy that you guys are with me, and I love y'all. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, do all of the things, and I will see y'all next week.